Ambassador Venu Rajamony and Dr. Saroj Thapa called on the king on November 9th, 2020 to say goodbye as they prepare to leave after 3.5 years. In this portrayal, some important Dutch dignitaries and leaders of the Indian community with whom he has been engaged during his tenure reflect on his contribution.
He was an ambassador that achieved a great deal on many levels. He brought the Dutch and the Indian diaspora together on a number of occasions involving not only water management with a book that he also wrote, but again, the book that I think a great achievement is on the Indo-Dutch relations since the time of the VOC, the Dutch East India Company, to the present time and even to the future. I have it here, so if you want to take it, a photo of it. I felt very privileged when he sent me the manuscript to read before it was sent to be printed. He did this to send it to a number of people for their comments, and which means also that before it was published, I read it, the entire book. And seeing the illustrations he chose and the facts that he chose, I think it's a great achievement.
And most of all, you have also written books about the Netherlands. One was a great one where you managed that even King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima were present at that reception where you presented the book to them.
Great job of the Indian ambassador to The Hague, and we're very grateful to him that he sort of found out a lot about the history and of our two countries.
I admire him. I have a lot of admiration for him, not just because he is an ambassador, but as a human being also who cares for everybody in the community. And I felt very honored and privileged when he attended my knighthood ceremony.
Can you recall your first meeting with him?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, it was when the Indian Business Chamber gave a party, dinner party in his honor, and I had the honor to welcome him, and in all words, and the meeting went enormously well. He impressed our members. He had a great knowledge, and also he mixed up very easily with the people and made them at ease. He was also himself very relaxed and made the members also very relaxed. My experience with him are at two levels. One is at the official level and the other is at the private level. At the official level is mainly on matters related to community and the business on official. And on a private level, we both love sports. We have, though he's very, very busy, but we have played golf together, biked together at the Venu in the Dutch National Park. It was a wonderful experience. And swimming, and he has swum in the river also and at the sea. So because we both are sport lovers, so our personal relation also grew very much.
He is the ambassador, I can say, is different personality completely as compared to other ambassadors. He is more of social, he is more of community, he is more of people, he is accessible for everybody here in Holland. And he wanted to meet all the people who wanted to meet him also. And he respects the community really respects him.
Well, he is, according to me, and I've lived here for many years, one of the best ambassadors we've ever had. Not only because of his diplomacy, as a person, he is warm, he's inclusive, he has done a lot for the community here, not only for the Indian community, but for the Surinamese community. So together, I think he's made so much effort to bring everybody together that has really touched people's hearts.
I think the word dynamic is the word for this ambassador. And he's also very close to the diaspora. To the diaspora. He works together, he engages with the diaspora. And I think also he has a lot of energy in him.
He's a great diplomat, has a great art of diplomacy. He is the person who can keep his feet on the ground and walk with the king and queen very gracefully. And we feel very honored to have him here. He was vibrant on every level, on the office level, with the community level, with the Indo-Dutch relation level. So he was all around, and very active and very hardworking. Indian diaspora loves him. You see, he was not only just for the elite or the top people of the Indian diaspora. He was for everybody. We are very easily approachable, and and the other thing which he did for the Indian diaspora, for my own organization, for the uniting people, creating a harmony in the community, because Holland also represents India from various groups, from various regions, and further from the Suriname group and this group. He tried to put everybody together and created a kind of harmony for which we love him.
In promoting the bilateral relations between India and the Netherlands, Ambassador Rajamony also focused on enabling businesses to settle down in the Netherlands. One of the companies which could count on his support is LT Foods in Rotterdam.
LT Foods truly symbolizes the saga of India's growth and the saga of India's success in the last 70 years.
What is your experience with this ambassador?
Wonderful experience. He is a big warmth. Whenever we meet him, we feel a big warmth in him. He is a very practical ambassador. So he promotes the business, he supports the people. He is a wonderful human being. He helps the people. That's what, anybody who's coming here for business or living here, he expects at least a comfort zone from the ambassador. He gives that. He makes you feel like that. He knows that what you want, what the business wants, or what your expectation, he tries to match accordingly.
In my view, Venuji and Saroj not only opened up their home, but their hearts for people both from the Indian diaspora and Dutch people alike. While opening the physical gates of India House, their official residence in the Netherlands, in Wassenaar, they provided for several opportunities for people to engage with the Indian culture on several occasions.
I think it was game-changing. Not only, we used to always do the Republic Day function and the Independence Day function in the Gandhi Center. And when he came up with the idea of opening up the residence for not only for the people of the community, but for the people of Wassenaar, we used to have 2,000 people attending on those days. Then he opened up the Monument Day, which is for the local community of Wassenaar to come and take a look at the house. What it did for people like me who lived here for many years, it gave a completely different meaning to what Indianness and Surinamese were. It gave that this is a much more grander story than just being part of the Gandhi Center. And to be able to have so many people interact together in a big place like the India, like his residence, you really felt very, very proud, very proud. When he came here, we were the only Bengali association here in Holland. And then during his tenure, there were other Bengali associations which sprouted up in Amsterdam, in Amstelveen, and in Eindhoven. But Sir always continued to be a patron of Kalol, and he would do the inauguration, which was the hallmark of the start of our puja. And on top of that, he's always been very interested in meeting the diaspora. Yeah? Always wanted to meet the larger Bengali community, and he did an amazing thing by inviting the members of Kalol to participate in last year's 15th of August celebration.
Well, he has done a great deal about connecting the communities of the diaspora with the Dutch. When I think of what he's done with the International Yoga Day, where you can see that there have been a great many Dutchmen who have taken part in this day, which was in Amsterdam, and I think that is one of the things that he has succeeded in doing and bringing people together.
Good morning, Amsterdam. It is my great joy and honor to welcome each and every one of you to this historic location in the heart of Amsterdam city.
I spent a lot of time with him in different ways, personally and officially also, and I was involved with a couple of top events what he organized, in Holland. I think he's the best organizer, he's the best leader, and he's most experienced person who can handle the situation in every situation. And I call him, he's a really true statement for India to represent here as an ambassador.
We have worked together in so many events for the community, and what we see in him that he's always willing to give taking an extra step and reaching out for the Indian, Suriname and the Dutch community.
What you organized as well was the Gandhi March against hatred, against violence. He was really for non-violence, and I think that was very good for the children also in the Netherlands at school to get to know the ideas of Mr. Gandhi.
The outreach programs associated with the Peace March led to conversations, discussions in high schools, at universities, and therefore young minds, young adults engage with the concept of ahimsa, non-violence. This, in my view, has been an incredible achievement.
My thoughts go back to the beautiful introductions to the Indian culture, such as the exhibition and festivities at the Nieuwe Kerk in Amsterdam. And I also remember vividly the meeting in the Grote Kerk in The Hague, where dancers performed so beautifully. Speaking of Indian dance, my husband Art and I have met you twice at the India Dance Festival at the Corso Theatre in The Hague with Leo Sprexel, and he was very fond of you.
We have been extremely lucky, I realize myself, to have Mr. Venu Rajamony as the ambassador of India in the Netherlands for the past years. It's especially with his energy, his commitment and passion for the rich culture of India. He was such a wonderful representative, which he combined with a strong insight into the culture of the Netherlands, as we have been able to read in his publication, India and the Netherlands, Past, Present and Future. But more especially in my function as artistic leader of the India Dance Festival in The Hague, from the beginning, the Indian ambassador, he has been a big support for all the initiatives that the festival wanted to take, bringing wonderful artists from India to present their work here in The Hague. And it was so special that, especially for me, he was a partner in reflecting, in supporting and promoting the editions of the Indian Dance Festival.
are particularly looking forward to exhibit the beautiful work of Amrita Sher-Gill. You are the bridge between the National Gallery of Modern Art in New Delhi and the Drench Museum. Furthermore, I'm pleased that your wife has come into contact with the Liliana Foundation. And that opens the world to children with disabilities. And I myself are the ambassador of the Liliana Foundation. I hope she's successful in her endeavors to get disabled children educated. The director of the Liliana Foundation told me that he had a fruitful and pleasant meeting with Saroji. This brief outline of our common history shows that even if you come from different parts of the world, you can achieve wonderful results together on both social and a cultural level.
Another important discussion point that Venuji and Saroj and I have had on many occasions has been the mental health and cultural orientation of the growing Indian student population in the Netherlands. What I've appreciated is the resources that they've allocated, the support that they've provided where it's been necessary. As an educator and psychologist myself, this has been important to me. And last but not the least, how they handle the COVID-19 pandemic. The approach that they use for Indians that were stranded in the Netherlands has been personalized and not just restricted to being an administrative approach. This personalized aspect of the last 3 years is something that I have incredibly appreciated of their term here in the Netherlands.
Also, it was of course very interesting to see that you wrote this book. What can we learn from the Dutch? And for me, this was I read it really in one go, because it was such a comprehensive story, which I felt was like a biography, a professional biography of my life, of being involved in flood protection in the Netherlands, in particular in the Room for the River projects. Also, this Room for the River projects we discussed for as possible measures in Kerala to mitigate floods. So your writing this book, I think, was very helpful also for Kerala people to make sure that we work together in the future with the Dutch, and that is what we still endeavor for the next future. To see whether there could be a cooperation between Kerala and the Netherlands on integrated water resources management, and in particular to see how in Kerala the planning could take place so that the impacts of future floods would be remediated. So in that context, we did some interesting work in Kerala, and I was quite impressed also what Kerala people already did and how they are working on the Kutanat and the main rivers like the Pamba.
I look back at the fantastic time with yourself and the friendship we developed. You have been an enormous active ambassador. You were one of the happy few who managed to get the Prime Minister of India to the Netherlands. I think the visit of Prime Minister Modi was great. He was received very well, and also there was a very good click between our Prime Minister Rutte and Prime Minister Modi. You've been very active in the trade delegations, also when we did visit India all together.
May I say also that the Netherlands is very glad to have an ambassador like you, who is not only very active, but also very modern, because as a matter of fact, I should perhaps mention that the first time we met was during a hockey match, of course a sport for which we are both have a passion in the Netherlands and in India. And ever since we've been in touch through social media. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ties between the Netherlands and India, they go back many centuries. India's sights, sounds, smells, they have been a source of inspiration to the Dutch ever since our golden age. And if our shared past is anything to go by, I think that our countries will have an even brighter future together. We have to work continually to strengthen our ties. Today's event and your kind invitation, Mr. Ambassador, to so many friends of India is a testament to that. And it's also a celebration to the richness of India's diversity, to the richness of India's culture.
You know, Ambassador Rajamony was truly a worthy representative of his country in the Netherlands. With his charisma, he transformed Indian diplomacy into a vibrant, hands-on mission in service of his country, but also in service of the Indian diaspora community here in the Netherlands.
We are now actually very well respected by the Dutch community because of our achievements, because of the encouragement from the embassy. So we are very, very visible now at the moment at every level.
And you know that you are a great friend. You are a gentleman, you are a great diplomat, and I'm sure that my words are the words of all state parties, not just the ones represented here, but the ones that are watching us also through the live streaming. And as you say, we have worked a lot in different areas, and I recognize all the achievements that you have made during your tenure as ambassador here in the Netherlands. One of the landmarks that I recall is that you wrote a book and you presented along with the king. So that is a big achievement that I'm sure that many ambassadors are still thinking how Venu reached that such accomplishment, but it talks a lot about you, about your personality, about your work, and about your leadership. And I'm sure that now that you are going back to your loved country, you will continue reaching achievements in your personal life, but also in your professional life.
The centers of excellence are the backbone of the cooperation between the Dutch and the Indian government. To seal the plans for the center today certainly also serves as a tribute to the tireless efforts of Ambassador Venu Rajamony, who will complete his term this year as Ambassador of India to the Netherlands, and will also retire from the government. He has been most active in advancing the interest of agricultural cooperation between our two countries. At several occasions, I had the pleasure of meeting the Ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, if you allow me to address you directly, of the whole of the diplomatic corps in The Hague, you have easily distinguished yourself as the most enthusiastic promoter of agricultural relations. You have become a center of excellence in yourself, so to speak. I hope you will continue to be active in the field after your return to India later this year. You will surely be missed in the Netherlands. I heard you had plans to write a book about Dutch agriculture, and I hope the Center of Excellence can inspire you to accomplish that task after your return.
How will he be remembered here in the diaspora community?
Yeah, for the diaspora community, I think he will be remembered as proactive, engaged with the community, very closely engaged with the community, and also a very willing, what we call it, a willing diplomat, a very willing receiving diplomat. That means it's very easy to speak to him, and they will miss that from him. I think that the community will really definitely remember him in that way.
He's accessible to the community, and yeah, there's no word to explain. I mean, I come with the different groups of organization. Everybody, wherever you go, when we talk about the Venuji, they said he's incredible. He's the best ambassador who has come to do something for the country in Holland.
I would say that he will be remembered, at least in our hearts, as somebody who has really elevated the community. He's brought us all together and actually made us very proud, yeah, as being part of the community, not only as businessmen but also as professionals. Yeah? And we have had during his tenure a tremendous amount of influx of senior executives from India and other parts of the world who have got Indian origin, who have come to the Netherlands, and he has had always the time and effort to meet with them and to exchange information with them. And I think that is something which is, and he's actually a very good marketeer. He's a great marketeer, and when I mean marketeer, I mean as a professional. And his tenure, all throughout his tenure, he's always been a master at that. And that requires only one skill: you must love people, which he does.
I will remember him as a warm man with a great deal of humor and with a feeling for the people around him.
He will be remembered by his job as an ambassador, by increasing and enhancing Indo-Dutch relations, and this thing there, by making it possible the king and queen to go to India, and many other delegations to India as well as back. And he will also be remembered what role he played in the Indian community, and it's bringing everybody together, a kind of creating an harmonious atmosphere. There are so many groups, so many people from different regions, and they were all together. There was no bitterness, a kind of no politics, which sometimes happens. It is amazing, which we were trying before for a long time. Actually, we were trying to put together so that they are, well, under his ambassadorialship here, I think a success has been achieved.
Because of his hands-on policy and because of his commitment to the international atmosphere of The Hague, of Amsterdam and Rotterdam, but also because of his visibility in the Indian diaspora community, he will be missed. He will be missed because, you know, his vision was to focus on the bilateral relations between India and the Netherlands. And I think that he succeeded in that. So much so that India right now is very much respected in the Netherlands. And that is truly a great achievement.
We'll definitely miss him, because we'll miss him, definitely. We can't do anything, we'll miss him.
दूर जाके भी मुझसे तुम मेरी यादों में रहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी